thanks to Shant and I'm from the channel Weathers Now. Today I'll be forecasting the weather for our city of Dron, Galena. Now it looks as if a cyclone is heading our way and should take about 3 days to pass through our city and move to the state of Florida. We will provide the detailed weather forecast predicting what we can do over these 3 days to ensure our safety. Day 1. On day 1, our temperature would be at a normal high of 76.7 degrees Fahrenheit and a normal low of 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, we would be expecting a sort of a breeze today through the afternoon till the evening till about 6 p.m. with not much humidity, however, a slight breeze of density in the air. As you can see through these weather patterns over here, we can predict the path of the cyclone and where it is heading. Now, on this whole A12 weather pattern forecast, you can see that there are these red lines going over here, and these are known as the warm fronts, and some blue lines over here known as the cold fronts. Now, you may also notice this purplish pink line, which is actually occluded fronts, which is a mixture of both, which means that the temperature is just about right in that area. So, from this, we can understand that children are able to go to school on the first day. However, it is also not advised to go to school during this humidity change, as it may affect some children. Now, fishermen and some miners are also safe to continue their work, as there won't be anything hazardous affecting them on the first day. But influxes between the temperature for catching fish may affect some fishermen during the season. Emergency response leaders, such as the Red Cross and the local officials, would not be needed to prepare any shelters or bunkers just yet on the first day. Through this, the local economy shouldn't be affected just as much on the first day when compared to the other days during the storm. And this was the first day's whole weather forecast, and the next day's is coming up. Day 2. As the day passes, the high temperature of Dron, Galena would now be at around 54 degrees Fahrenheit, as we can see over here, and the low temperature of our wonderful city would be at 25 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the temperature begins to fluctuate as well as air density begins to thicken from this black line, which we can see once again from our A12 map over here. So, this gray line, as you can see through our map, passes through the cities of Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, as well as Idaho. Now, emergency response leaders such as the Red Cross as well as local officials should now most likely be called to help to prepare emergency shelters as well as bunkers for their local city. Reports from this map indicate that schools should temporarily be closed, and heavy industries as well as workers that depend on the weather should seek shelter or evacuate alongside the emergency shelters. Now, this would stop the growth of local economy for just a bit until the storm subsides. However, if you live in an apartment, it's highly recommended that you evacuate it and spend the next few days in an emergency shelter or bunker. This helps in providing much more safety as well as reliability. As the average wind speed increases with height and the gustiness or different combinations of eddies, which is the circular movement of wind, decreases with the height, as you can see from this chart over here. Now, turbulent buffets are strong, with repeated assaults of wind that can affect tall buildings, towers, and skyscrapers. So, this means that due to the high wind and pressure and improper connection of the house to the footings, it can be blown away, as well as due to roofing materials that aren't anchored, this could cause flooding. Now, it is also highly advised to seek shelter in underground bunkers or emergency shelters, since they can't be blown away nor heavily flooded. So, a way of preparing for the cyclone would be collecting perishables such as canned meat, fruits, and water is a good idea to store in the storm time. So, if the severe weather poses a threat to your power or water, it's good to be prepared. This could be prepared with food and water to get through the power until it's restored. And that was the whole weather forecast of day 2. Day 3. By day 3, which is the final day of the storm, the high temperature would be at an unstable range from about 38 to 52 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature being at the most of 20 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insane. As another day passes, conditions of the cyclone are getting worse as heavy wind high turbulence, and the start of trees and buildings are beginning to blow away, as well as getting flooded. By this time, most people would have evacuated the city and taken refuge in an emergency shelter or bunker led by the Red Cross or local officials. Others, who haven't gone to a shelter, would have probably barricaded their house, as you can see in this image. And it is recommended that if your house is made of bricks only, should you stay. However, if your house is made of any other unanchored materials, such as stone or wood, should immediately leave their house or apartment and seek shelter in an emergency shelter or bunker. This graph over here shows how unanchored materials can cause your house to be flooded or blown away, or even worse, some of your house's parts being demolished by the cyclone. As you can see over here, it's a proven fact that over 30 to 56% of houses made of these unanchored materials get completely blown away, flooded, or even having some of their parts being demolished. Once again, by this time, the local economy and infrastructure would have come to a gradual decrease and slower growth rate of the country, since there are barely any more people in this city during the tropical cyclone. This has been the total weather forecast for these 3 days, suggesting how you can stay safe during the cyclone and what to be aware of, especially ranging from day 1 being a normal day in our city, and day 3 being the worst and how it will impact our city. So, I'm Advik Sushant, your local weather forecaster from the #1 weather channel, Weathers Now. And this was our report on the cyclone of Dron, Galena. Stay safe.